Kia ora, Tefano. Looking at question 2, this is part 9, the more difficult challenges. We're writing a program that will ask the user for the price of the purchase and then show what change will be given for your purchase from a $50 note. Example output, purchase price of $22.69, and then it's showing you all of the different change here from a $50 note and giving you either 1 or a 0 or how many you get there. I have a plan for this. I haven't coded this up before. I think it works. I think it's kind of okay. I don't know if it'll turn out to be quite as elegant as I think it will. But this is actually quite an involved problem. You've got to go through, you've got to check up against each of these values. You've got to print out notes or coins. You've got to store how many are in each. Let's get into it. I'll walk you through what my idea is, and maybe if you've got a better idea, you can put it down below. Okay, so my idea is to take each of these values, stick it in an array, and then use a for loop to iterate over that array, getting rid of some of the value in our total at each repetition. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so first we're going to go, price is going to equal an integer input. No, a float. A float input. What's the difference between an integer and a float? Float's got that decimal point. We're using dollars and cents, gonna need a float. How much is the purchase? C? SE. And it's dash in that, and then after that, let's put a $sign so that the user knows that they're not going to put a $sign in themselves, or else this will break the whole thing, right? Okay, change is going to equal 50 minus that price. Okay, now we need to get an array of values. And what we're going to do is we're going to check the biggest one first, and then we're going to work down in smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller amounts. So our notes denominations, let's say notes, even though it's got coins in there as well, I know, but let's just say that with 50, then it's 20, then it's 10, then it's 5, then it's 2, 1, 0.5, and yeah, this is at least as modern enough to have gotten rid of that 5-cent piece. 0.5, 0.2, and 0.1. Okay. So we're going to say for note in notes. What we need to do is we need to check whether or not that particular value, so it's going to start at 50, whether or not that particular value goes in there a whole number of times. How do we check if it goes in there a whole number of times? We can do something called floor divide. So we can say, like notes given is going to equal change floor divide by note. Don't forget to start with that one there is I is now going to be the first thing in our array, which is 50. And I did put 50 in there deliberately in case you're getting all of your money back. And so now we need to print if greater than 2, let's say type is going, no, not type, kind is going to equal note, the string note. Why? Why have I done that? Because as we go around and print out, you'll see sometimes we need to have notes here, sometimes we need to have coins. So it's important to take account of which one that's going to be, and we can simply say, well, you know, if it's greater than 2, then everything above 2 is notes, everything below 2 is coins. So, or 2 or below is coins. So we can just do a simple check and say that that's going to be notes, else notes.kind is going to equal coins. And now we're going to print this string here. $I kind equals that number. Print, and this is an F string, $, I, and then again, kind, then a colon, and then notes given. I really wish I called that something else now. Maybe you can come up with a better name for that variable other than notes given. Notes or coins given? Oh, that's a bit clunky. Maybe there's something else that you can come up with there. Okay, now we're going to go through that for loop again. But I don't want to check the whole change against the next denomination, the next size of note or coin. I don't want to check 20 and I don't want to check 10. I only want to check the remainder once we've taken that away from the change, right? So if I gave them a $50 note back, I want to check 0 rather than $50 again. If I gave them a 20 back, I only want to check 30 or whatever the difference was in the change. So, what do I want to do? I want to say change is equal to change modulo note. Oops, why have I called this I here? Oops, let me get my head out of the way. I've called this I here because normally if you're doing a for loop, you normally use I here for index. I didn't use it. I used notes because I'm going over a list of, I used note because I'm going over a list of notes. So I've made a mistake here. I need to call that note. What is modulo? Modulo is remainder after division. So if I divide 35 by 10, well, it's going to go 3 times. I don't care about that. I only care about the remainder, which is that 5 afterwards. So if I'm doing this problem here, and say my change is $35, well, first it's going to come through. It's going to check 50. No, can't do that. It's going to come through and check 20. Yes, I can do that. I can divide 35 by 20 once, and I've got 15 remaining. So now change is going to become 15, and it's going to go through. Great, 15. Can I fit the next thing? Can I fit 10 into 15? Yes, I can. We should have 1, and then remaining 5. Can I fit 5 in? Yes, I can. There's something else which is wrong here, which is let's just run with it. Let's run with it and then we'll change it later. How much is the purchase? The purchase is going to be $16.72. And I've made this exact same mistake that I made before. This is note. Always a bit of debugging. $16.72. Did that work? Oh, I should print out the change. I should print out the change. It's really hard to see that. So here, let's go print. Still an F string. Change given. And then change in little curlies. Not capital. And there's just a little weird space here, so I'm just going to get rid of that space. Change given is going to be with a $sign, but we'll imagine that that's just in there for now. Here we go, change given, $33.28, which is, yes, we can fit a $20 note in there. Yes, we can fit a $10 note in there. No, we can't fit any more fives, but a 2, a 1, and a 20-cent coin. Now, the thing we need to fix up is this. We've got the notes and coins working, but we don't have this. I want to swap those from $1, $2, 50 cent, 20 cent, 10 cent. So we need another if. We're going to say if note is greater than 0.5, or let's say greater than or equal to 1. Print that. Else, I'm just going to copy this line here. And I'm going to say, I actually need to times this by 100, don't I? Because, or else I'm going to have a 0.5 cent piece. I want to get rid of that $, and I want to say, because the C comes afterwards, and so I need to say note times 100, then cent coin equals notes given. Let's try it. How much is the purchase? Let's say $11.52. Ooh, look at that. That's a bug. But let's carry on. Did the rest of it work? A $20 note was given. A $10 note was given. Everything's always one. No, we do have one. I don't like how all of these are floats. Why are all of these floats? Maybe we can change that and make it even tidier. And I don't like how this up here, you can't see that, how this up here is got that horrible long number on it. That is just a problem that programs have with math. They don't do maths quite like how you think. They have this they have this limits to the maths that they can do that ends up with that interesting problem. But we have our cents working. Great. Except they are funky. It is a funky thing again. So let's turn this here into an integer. I want those to be an integer. I want notes given to be an integer as well. Let's turn notes given. Where do I say notes given? And let's put an integer around that. Floor divide should always give you an integer anyway, because it's rounding down to the lowest whole number. It's rounding down to the nearest whole number, I should say. Floor divide is like primary school division. Like, yeah, you say, oh, it's this many, remainder that many. It's just without the remainder. So it's division without a remainder. And change given, I want to, where do I say change given? Change given equals there, equals round, change, comma, 2. We've done that before. That's going to round change to 2 places. Let's say it's $7.30. Oh, that's much better, isn't it? There we go. I think that's complete. Let me just show you the entirety of the code. Ended up being a little bit longer. I'll just step out of the way so you can pause it and you can take a look at it and understand it if you don't already. Apart from that, that's that one completed. See you on the next time. Ka kite anō.